let's start with, let's see, let's put our little dot in the middle. We can have a focal point. And let's start with some long petals. And remembering our mindfulness as we're making our lines, thinking of our start and stop points so that we can stay focused on what we're doing. Keep that mindfulness going, keep that kind of focus on the task, get a little clarity. Now let's see. Let's make just an outline around these petals. So this is just kind of going along the shape of the tops of these petals and kind of outlining them. There we go. Hey Jess, thanks for joining. And then let's see. Let's make our little like Hershey kiss shapes going around. And we'll just fit a few of these because we're still kind of small here. There we go. That's nice. 4 of them. We can actually just keep going with that. And let's put on the outside of these just one of my little chubby triangle shapes. I'm going to go ahead and turn my paper, save my wrist, make it easier to make my shapes. There we go. All right, let's see, what are we going to do next? Let's put, I'm going to just put like kind of a semicircle going in between these chubby triangle shapes here. Turning my paper, remembering my lines, my start and stop points. And for those of you who are new, just the start and stop points is just a way that I use to really kind of keep very mindful of the lines that we're making, the shapes that we're making. So you just, when you put your pen down, you have a start point, and then you draw, and then you have a stop point. So it's really that definite stop point that we're paying attention to. And that will just keep us from, just kind of starting to mindfully or mindlessly make shapes and getting, sloppy and having our mind wander off and those kind of things. So you don't need to say, start and stop out loud. Just, have that in your mind as you're making the shapes. All right, let's see. I'm actually going to make some petal shapes around this semicircle shape. And you see that even when I'm doing these smaller lines, I'm having that little pause at the end of each stroke. So I'm still staying mindful, I'm still thinking about those start and stop points. And it's sometimes extra important to do that on these smaller shapes because we tend to get really sloppy when we're doing them because it's, repeated shapes. It's just, feels a little monotonous. So it's extra important to think about those definite stop points as we're drawing those. Hey Jillian, how are you? Let's see. Let's make now, I'm going to go ahead and make another one of the sort of, Hershey Kiss shapes. And I call them Hershey Kiss shapes because it, kind of looks like a Hershey's Kiss shape. So I'm just going to start somewhere in here and just draw right up to the center there. And if you need, you can kind of just, make yourself a little guide. It's like a little dot as a guide, and that will help your eye kind of guide your hand to the right spot. But it's not important. You can just kind of eyeball it since we're not going for perfection here. It's okay to just eyeball things, and if they're a little bit off, they're a little bit off. No big deal. All right, let's see. Now I'm going to put just, okay, well let's start by on each side of this, just put like one little petal on the side of these. Because then on the inside, and I'm going to make myself a little guide so I know how far up I want to go. I'm just going to make like a little kind of leaf shape going up. And I just put these kind of smaller petals on the outside first just to, give myself space for them. So let's see, let's make ourselves a little guide and then make our little pointed leaf shape. Let's see. And let's do that all the way around. One more. Go. Let's see, what should we do next? I think that I want to make a curved line from like the top of this shape right to kind of the center of this one. So you can do it either direction. Just like that. So it's almost making kind of a half circle behind there. That wasn't my idea when I was doing it, but that's how it turned out. So it is what it is. I think it turned out on that one because it was a wider one. See, this is more what I was thinking of, and because these are like, a thinner space in between. That one had a wider space in between, so it looks a little bit different. But all is good. Here we go. And let's see. That one looks quite a bit different, doesn't it? I think I made it rounder too, but I'm not going to worry about it. This is the type of thing that tries my perfectionism. I don't mind the little wonky things or curvy lines or stuff, but when one element is a lot different from the other ones, that I have to breathe through those times and just let it go. Because I've drawn it in pen, there's nothing I can do about it. We just let it go, and it's not important. Let's see. Oh, you know what? One thing I can show you is on sometimes how to recover from these kind of mistakes is to just sort of do the same thing all the way around. Let's see if I can pull this off and show you what I'm talking about. So because these are a much steeper line here than this one, I'm going to just kind of make it double. So I'm going to put these steeper lines inside of this one. So say from, you know, somewhere in here, and just make that do a steeper. And then on all the others, I'm going to make a more rounded line like that. So I'm just kind of incorporating the all the elements in to balance it out a little bit. And again, it's not important at all to do that. It's okay that they're, you know, not all exactly the same. But if you're like me and struggle with the perfectionism issues, this is a good way to kind of deal with that. Now, see, much more balanced now. Ah, I feel better. And I kind of like that double look anyway. That looks pretty cool. Let's see, what shall we do next? I'm going to make like a circle going at the tip of this Hershey Kisses shape here. Turning my paper, being aware of my start and stop points, very mindful of my lines and my shapes. Go. And you know what I'm going to do? I actually want to put another shape around there. I think I'm just going to make another one that's a little bit wider. Just, you know, the same shape, just going around it bigger, just to fill in that space a little bit. Now, circles are notoriously hard to make circular. So if yours come out a little ovally or flattened or lopsided, you know, again, it's all okay. It's all good. All right. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to then around this put some more petal shapes. Just not making them too terribly tiny, just for kind of time's sake. Because if you make them really little, it's going to take you a while to put them around all of the shapes. There we go. Being extra focused on my start and stop points so I don't start to just get distracted and in a hurry. There we go. And I think let's see, to kind of balance this out a little bit, I'm going to put maybe a little, you know, I was going to put like a kind of a floater shape, a circle out here, but I'm thinking maybe to put like a little teardrop shape, like kind of like a curved teardrop shape. So it's really just like a teardrop. I'm just making a little curve on it. So just kind of, you know, make almost like a little part of a C and then bring it back down. A little bit more of a tricky shape to make, but not that bad. And I'll just add a little extra interest to the mandala. There we go. And then I think I still will actually put just in this space, like just little kind of floater circles. So just tiny little circles just in that little wedge of space there. There we go. Cool. Now let's fill in a little bit, shall we? I got a few more minutes. Let's do some filling in. What shall we do? Let's start. I think the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to put, maybe I'll put circles going up this shape. So just kind of fit them in. And I started about halfway. You can bring them all the way up if you want. So just kind of fit them in the space that's there. How many of a foot? Just kind of tapering up. Still thinking about our lines and our shapes. Hi, Steph. Thanks for popping in. Got a little bit different of a mandala going on today. Sometimes they just work out that way. You need a mandala right now. You need to draw a mandala right now? Are you drawing one? Or you don't have time? You can always come back and do it later, you know. They're all on my timeline or in my album, or you know stuff, I put them on my YouTube channel too. I have like a whole playlist on YouTube with the DAMM videos, so you can go and just choose any one at any time. That's probably the easiest way to do it, rather than like trying to like sift through my photos or what my timeline or whatever. Let's see, what should we do next? You know what I want to do? I want to, in this shape, I'm going to put some sort of kind of stripy lines going down. So just 4 or 5, just kind of putting a little bit of curve in them, whatever fits in there. And sometimes it's easier to start like kind of in the middle ones. So whatever is easier for you. Starting in the middle kind of makes it easier sometimes to gauge how many you can put in and space them apart a little bit better. All right, there you go. And I'm feeling like I need a little bit of like weight and line variation in this. It's getting a little, when you start to have all the lines the same size and the same density, and you get a lot of details in there, it loses a little bit of shape. So putting in, you know, some different line thicknesses or filling in some spaces will just kind of define certain shapes in certain areas and make them pop. And so you get a much more, you know, like balanced look, a much more almost 3D look to it. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and just make actually this one that we just did a little bit wider or thicker of a line. If you have a thicker pen, you can use it. Otherwise, just, you know, just kind of go over the same line a few times to make it thicker. I also like putting some different line weights, some thicker line weights in, or filling in some spaces. It just kind of ground the mandala a little bit. I feel like it, you know, it just gives it that weightiness to it, gives it that kind of importance, makes it feel, you know, like just grounded and solid. I'm not going to do the other two just for time's sake. You can go ahead and finish those. And I just have a couple minutes left, so I'll see what else we can do. I think that I'm just going to draw some little lines in my petals here. So just right in the center, just a little, almost like a petal fold lines or little stamen lines or something. And let's see, we can, I am going to, on the inside of this shape, I'm going to make like a little semicircle. So just go in kind of behind that, you know, that sort of outline flower shape. And then I'm going to fill that little semicircle in. And again, that's just another element that I put in, you know, filling it in, that will just give it that kind of grounded filling, that sort of weightiness. And also just make it, you know, visually nicer to look at with the variation of weight and color. All right, I will also just not do all those for time's sake. I have about 1 more minute. Let's see, what else can we do here? Another thing that you can do to just, you know, do some fill in, and these will take a little bit longer, is you can fill in some of the petals going around. That sometimes looks really nice too. And again, doing these kind of, you know, repeated little shapes, be very, very conscious of your lines, making sure that you are, you know, staying mindful and filling in with intention, basically. So you're very mindfully going back and forth and watching the space fill up, watching the pigment go onto the paper, filling in can get tedious, so we sometimes start to get sloppy and get in a hurry and tend to scribble, and that's kind of defeating the purpose. So make sure you pay special attention to that. All right though, but I actually need to go, so you can go ahead and finish this off yourself and just kind of use your imagination with different elements to fill it in. I'm going to just do one more thing here, just because I thought about it. Just putting in some lines here. I thought that would be kind of fun to do. And you can possibly even, you know, fill in the, it's hard for me to stop, can you tell? Fill in the petals around this too. And anyway, so if you've made a mandala, and even if you're doing this on replay, I would love to see it. Just, you know, post a picture of it in the comments or whatever. And please share this video. I would love to reach as many people as possible and show them, you know, how to make these meditation mandalas, or even just, you know, have them watch me. It's also very relaxing to watch somebody do drawing videos. And again, these are all saved on my YouTube channel, Deb Sormano Art, and in a folder here on my personal profile too, called DAMM Videos. And yeah, that's it, everybody. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks again for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.